we're going to go from this to this. All right, let's get started. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Betty with Betty Franks Art, and we're going to be working on paper. And this time we're doing something a little bit different. And just a moment ago there, I was showing you how I just put tape on the back of these paper pieces. These are 24 by 18 mixed media paper. I love mixed media paper when I'm working larger like this. I also love Bristol paper. So I just taped these up. These are three pieces that I created during a workshop that I attended several years ago. It was one of our exercises during that workshop, and they've just kind of been sitting around. And I thought, they've got some really nice bold marks in there. So I thought I'd have some fun today and just play around, add some more color to it, but I was trying to limit my palette. So I was trying to just stick to a few colors and not my usual explosion of every color that's out there. So I really tried hard, but I wasn't super successful, but I did okay. So just wanted to walk you guys through what I did here. Like I said, this was from a previous exercise I did, so this was already dry, ready for me to get started. Now, clearly, I didn't quite start the way I like to, which is I love to come in with some mark making first. I put down the red, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's not my normal process. So went and grabbed my little plastic container of different mark making tools, and I'm just trying to stay really loose here. And the great thing about working on three pieces at one time is it allows you to go back and forth between the three pieces and not get caught up on just one piece. So that was also part of my exercise here of trying to loosen up. Now, one of the reasons I put these up here was I had just recently moved into my new studio. As you could tell, that plastic back there is looking very new. There's hardly any paint on it yet. And I was trying to find a way to start getting myself back into the creative process because I was having a really hard time after my move to connect back with my artwork and my art practice. So I thought I would just grab these three and have some fun with them. And that's exactly what I did. So the other beauty about working on paper that I feel is fabulous about paper is that it's just paper. You don't have to stress about it. You didn't spend a fortune on a canvas. It's not precious. And it's it for me, it really allows me to just loosen up and have some fun. So I'm coming in with some neutral colors here in addition to, I think the red was the one color that really stood out the most, and the rest of them are a bit more on the neutral side. Now, I'm not following my normal process here that I like to do when I'm creating art. And if you want to check those out, go ahead and just go to my homepage, or I'll add a link here as well, that you can just scroll down my homepage. I've got it very well organized where you can just see what you want to watch. I've got large pieces on canvas, I've got smaller pieces on paper and wood, and maybe canvas, I'm not sure, but mostly paper and wood. And then I've got like an art business section, and then I've got a few other sections below that as well. So check those out. So this really is not my normal process. This is me loosening up and just having some fun. And I'm using a bowl there. It's just a plastic bowl. And I think the reason for that is because I think I already had something on my palette that I was working on earlier that was wet, and they weren't the colors I wanted to use here. So when that happens, I just either dry it really quickly with my hair dryer, or I just grab some bowls and mix my colors within the bowls. Here I'm using a rigger, which is a fine script brush. Love my rigger. I use it for really large pieces and really small pieces. It just adds a different type of mark, a much thinner, finer line. So I like to try to change out my brushes whenever possible. I don't always remember to do that. For example, I was painting, I think it was yesterday, And I was looking at it going, what is wrong with this painting? And then I realized I've been using the same brush over and over. All right, here I am using a color shaper. Ha, I remembered the name. I thought my mind was going to go blank on that. Okay, it's called a color shaper, and it's just kind of like a flat spatula, intended really as opposed to a spatula that you get at, in the kitchen department. This one is actually intended for artists, and it's kind of a more firmer. Rubber spatulas can be very bendy. Is that a good word? But this one is a bit more firm, so it just goes on a little bit differently. Nothing wrong with spatulas. I've got that as well, but it's something a little bit different. Now, going back to, if you love working on paper and if you want to learn more about my technique, not so much what I'm doing here, but my other ones, I've got a recorded workshop that I did a couple of years ago. It's been very popular. It's still available out there, and it's just $79. It's over 2 hours of creating with me. We go through some exercises together, and then I work on one 24 by 18 piece during that workshop. So if you want to check that out, the link is down below, or just leave me a comment and say, hey, Betty, send me that link, and I'd be happy to send that over to you. All right, adding some more color here, going with some darker colors. I like to make sure that I'm covering all of my values. So values meaning lighter colors and darker colors. And I'm always looking at that when I'm looking at a painting. Here, for example, I still have a lot of the original white showing through from the paper piece. And sometimes I leave that, especially on something like this where, I'm having some fun, I'm just loosening up. I will leave some of that white showing through. Now, speaking of having some fun, I also recently created a concertina art journal, or also known like as an accordion art journal. And if you want to really loosen up and have some fun, I'm going to put a link here for that and check that out. I think that you would have a lot of fun creating small and loose and just enjoying the whole process. And the concertinas, I've done, I think, about 4 or 5 of them now in a couple of different sizes, and talk about just loosening up and having fun. Definitely something to try if you haven't done that already. So check that out. If you're enjoying my video so far, I would so appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, and also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so that you can get more videos, but also hit that notification bell, because you have to kind of do a two-step with YouTube, and that is not only to subscribe, but to hit the notification bell. That way you are notified as soon as I post a new video. I have been pretty good about posting every 2 weeks. So every other Friday, you should be seeing a new video from me. So I appreciate you doing that. It really helps get the word out to other folks who love art and who would love to learn about my style of art. So you're not just helping me, but you're helping out your fellow community of artists. Okay, coming back in here with some more white, or, well, it's not quite white. It's more of a stone color. I don't know. It's a really light taupe color. Of course, I'm always trying to be real specific about my colors. It's not just white, right? It's never that. It's got a variety of different shades and tints to it. So this weekend, I'm super excited because at the time that this video goes live, I will be kicking off my workshop, my weekend workshop, which is a 3-day workshop here in San Jose, California. And I've got 14 students coming in for that. Super excited to spend 3 days with them, learning together, creating together, having a wonderful time together. Now, California is known for warm weather, and wouldn't you know it, leading up to this weekend, it's been like in the upper 70s, low 80s, but this weekend, of course, it's going to be in the 90s. How insane is that? And then it's going to drop down. On Sunday, it drops down to 78 again. Unbelievable. And the reason I mention that is because I am renting a art gallery space in the old studio space where I used to have my studio, and it is in an old canning building, which means that there's no air conditioning. Well, there's no heating during the summer months, but definitely no air conditioning during the summer. Wait, no heating during the winter months, no air conditioning during the summer months. And so it's going to be toasty warm for us in there. I think we're going to be wearing our swimsuits while creating. It's going to be fun. Hopefully we can withstand it. I've got a bunch of fans that I'm going to be bringing in and hoping that that's going to help keep that air circulating around and give us a little bit of reprieve. I also learned a new trick because I was trying to Google, best way to cool off a room without an actual air conditioner. And what I found out was if you place a bucket of um, ice in front of the fan, it blows the cool air off the ice around the room. So we're going to give that a try. Okay, I am pretty much close to done here. I'm putting splatters all over the page, just a fun way to finish it up. Now, the difficult part about doing splatters when you're up on the wall like this is that it can drip down. So I was trying to keep my splatters not too wet, but here I'm coming in and I'm kind of cleaning up a little bit. Either some ran there or I don't like too many splatters, so I will come back in and clean it up a little bit. Now, what I forgot to mention is the paint that I'm using is Nova Color paints, and I have now a Betty's bundle with Nova Color. I'm going to put a link here for you so that you can check that out. And also, actually, the link I'm going to give you is a link to my Instagram video that shows you the difference between their opaque, translucent, and transparent paints. So check that out. And then down below is a link to Betty's bundle, or please just leave me a message in the comments and I will be happy to send you that link. All right, we are here on a different day. Came in and it's completely dry and I'm just finishing this up with some mark making. I didn't do too much and I kept everything pretty loose because this piece overall is a very loose piece and I didn't want to come in with anything too rigid. And there I'm erasing a little bit back. I like it when I do a whole lot of scribbles and then I can erase some of that back so that it's not a continuous line. It's just one of those quirks about me, things that I like. So my mark making tools, I've got a link down below for that. Check that out. Again, if you can't find my links, just leave me a message. Happy to send that to you. And recently I did a video on all of my mark making tools and how they interact with water. So I will put a link for you here to that video if you want to check that out. This is a fun part of the process, my final step of just adding some more marks that are different than the paint mark making that I do, or the mark making I do with paint. I think this I've got in my hand is a white China marker. And those are lots of fun, especially on that final step where I can put them right over other colors. Now right there, I'm using my China marker to remove that sharp edge that I had on that circle. There's this thing about sharp edges that just rub me the wrong way. And so I have this tendency to try to eliminate sharp corners like that. So I can do that, I didn't catch it when I was doing it with paint, so I can do that with my mark making tools. Now, these marks are not marks you're going to necessarily notice from across the room. It's more like when you walk up to it, it's like, oh, wow, there's more interesting stuff going on. So I want to be able to, wow you from across the room, but also when you get up close, that you kind of go on this journey of, wow, checking out all these other marks that are um, suddenly become visible because you're up close. Now, the other beauty about mark making tools is just about everyone that I use, I can erase. Like I did just there, I was using a really dark, I think, crayon, and I didn't like that. I just use a regular eraser and just erase it immediately. So don't be afraid to put down marks and play around because you can easily erase something that you're not happy with. All right, I think I'm just about done here. Not sure where I went. Oh, there we go. I got a pencil so that I can sign them. So I like to sign in pencil in the lower corner, and I usually pick a corner that makes sense. Sometimes I like it to be really a subtle signature, and using a pencil makes it a bit more subtle. And all of these get varnished. I do a spray varnish first or spray fixative first, and then I like to use Liquitex varnishes over it. All right, those were done, and I'm going to show you some close-ups now. So here you can really start to see some of my final mark making. And if you are interested in my final mark making, I would suggest the best thing to do is check out my videos on small art that you can get to from my homepage, because I'm working small, you can see me doing all of that final mark making, whereas opposed to when I'm working this large, it's really hard for me to get the video up close for all of these pieces. But here in the video, I like to always scan my artwork at the very end so that you can see that final mark making. You can see those splatters there as well. So this was, again, a fun exercise for me, just loosening up, playing, experimenting, having fun. Would love to do some more of these. And I especially loved it because I already had pieces to start with and I wasn't starting from scratch. So that was great. All right, I think this is my first official tour of my new studio that is attached to the end of one of my videos. So I've got a 6-foot table set up, my chair there on the corner. I've got 2 tables back there, one for recording, and it's actually the flip side that I like to record on, and the other one just to have some fun. I've got a bunch of storage back there on the left, and I will be showing you a video of that blue one up on the wall. And I've got some pieces here that are still work in progress. And here, I think I just zoomed in, wasn't aware that I was zooming in when I was holding my camera. So we'll zoom out here in a moment. That one's still a work in progress. I got to finish that up. And then back to my painting wall, my nice clean painting wall. All right, so I've got, this is where we started, and then this is where we finished off. Well, there it is. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. You can watch more videos here, and you can also subscribe here. And remember to hit that bell so that you're notified of future videos. All right, folks, wishing you a super fabulous and creative day. Take care now.